Hello everyone, we're going to start with conference number 18, the inner chatter and the psychological song. We're going to study these two psychic inharmonious states and to learn how to eliminate them from our psyche. We know that they are produced by the distraction of our mind that is influenced by the action of ego. So first of all, we are going to study what is the inner chatter. The inner chatter is an inner speech in which we point at people, we criticize them, and we blame them for our misfortunes and disgraces. That is a wrong inner conversation that is also reflected in the external world when we calumny people, when we gossip about them, and when we blame them for our own inner misery. So how can we stop the inner chatter? There is a practice in Gnosis called the inner silence that is exhausting the process of thinking in profound meditation. But it's not what we are trying to explain here. It's not blanking our mind or stopping something from penetrating the mind. It's just that we already have something going on in our mind. A rumor, what people said about something, so a situation, a problem that we already have that produces us anxiety, that worries us, that steals our emotional energy. So we gotta silence our mind in relation towards something that is already there. We gotta stop touching that event with our inner tongue. Learn how to stop to the vicious circle of feeding that negative emotion once and over again in our inner speech. And how can we do that? We gotta use the power of psychological death and beg our Divine Mother, eliminate me this ego that wants to calumny that person again, that wants to think, what am I going to answer to that person? How am I going to get even? And we gotta achieve that inner silence, just stopping the inner chatting. The wrong inner chatter is caused by half-truths. Our mind blows everything out of proportion and exaggerates every little thing. Truths that relate to each other in a more or less wrong way. Our impressions of the outer world, for example, that you hear people laughing and you think that they are laughing about you because you self-consider yourself a lot. Something that is added or omitted. Our mind is expert on fabricating lies, on fabricating negative and distorted images, and we believe completely in the speech of our mind. So we gotta stop that illusion that we are fabricating all the time and looking at things as they really are. How can we look at reality? Well, just eliminating our ego and begging our Divine Mother Kundalini just to transcend all the impressions, the negative impressions that come from our mind, from our emotions, and from our instincts. To silence our inner tongue, just avoiding that inner discourse from fabricating more lies. Our self-sympathy has us in a position of narcissism. We only sympathize with people that have our own ideas, our own interests, and we criticize all people that don't sympathize with our own egos. For instance, that someone doesn't like the way I dress, so I think that person dislikes me. I self-consider myself, I suffer, I think that person wants to destroy me, that wants to do me harm, and I don't recognize that people have the right to dislike whatever they want. I don't have to suffer for that. So in that situation of narcissism, it's impossible to achieve the inner silence. So it's really important to avoid the inner chatter just by putting yourself in the shoes of the other and seeing the point of view of them. If you think that person cannot dominate his temper, that he's really angry, that he cannot dominate himself, and you criticize him, you're going to be able to see that you're not perfect either, that you have also insulted, that you have also reacted in an awful way, and you're going to stop demanding justice from others and demanding perfection, but you're going to look at yourself and recognize that you're not perfect either. If you want to be forgiven for your mistakes, you should also forgive people. Therefore, all things, whatever you desire for men to do to you, you shall also do to them. So now we're going to study the psychological song. That is when you accumulate a lot of resentment, a lot of rancor, a lot of hard feelings towards a person or a situation, and you are going to think that you're so good and you haven't been paid well enough. So the psychological song, we gotta see that it's made up of inner consideration, thinking that you're perfect, believing that people haven't appreciated your kindness, that they may think that you are not perfect enough, and identifying with your own pities. For instance, you think you're a saint and other people are evil. For example, a psychological song can be, oh, I'm a really good wife, I take care of my husband, I do the laundry, I do the dishes, and he doesn't take care of me, he doesn't consider me, my needs, my feelings. Also, my daughter, my son, they don't pay attention to me, they underestimate me, they don't collaborate with the things that I have to do in my home. Also at job, people don't care for me, people mistreat me. Also my family, they don't care about me, they underestimate me. So you have that psychological song repeating and repeating once and over again in your mind, and you're not able to escape that self-consideration in which you think you have done the best and that people mistreat you. So suffering for what people owe us. For example, that we have a discussion with someone and we are not able to get over that situation. We think that that person owes us a lot, that we have suffered a lot because of that person. He needs to apologize. He needs to compensate me for that suffering. If we demand to be repaid even the last denarius, we must first pay even the last penny. So we are not perfect. We owe a lot of karma. And instead, if we ask people to be fair with us, if we demand justice, the divine law is going to do justice with us and is going to charge us the karma of the harm that we have caused to people. Each complaint is a loss of energy. Nothing can grow inside someone that is hurt. So what is the only way to stop a psychological song? With forgiveness, forgiving our debtors, because we have caused a lot of suffering and a lot of pain to people as well, and we are not perfect. If we have the will to be bigger than our own sufferings, we are gonna let that go and we are going to forget the past. If we keep stuck in the past, we are not going to evolve and ascend to a higher level of being. So it's unuseful to put yourself in a difficult situation in which divine justice is going to demand you to pay for everything that you have done. The law of karma will take charge of you and will make you pay everything that you have done to people. But if you are merciful, the divine law is also going to be merciful with you. So the law of mercy is being able to be bigger in your heart and to let go of the past, to forgive the harm that people have done to you. The law of forgiveness is a more elevated influence than the law of a violent man. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You have to stop searching for revenge, stop searching for getting even, for charging people for everything that you have given to them. You just give without expecting anything in exchange, without expecting people to say thank you, without expecting people to give you in return something that you have given to them. That is the law of love. Just giving by the love of giving without expecting anything in return, not recognition, not being thanked for that. A person impeded by sad songs cannot change his level of being. That was what I was saying, that if you keep stuck in the past, nothing higher is going to grow inside yourself. If you keep looking at the bills that people have to pay to you, you're going to drown yourself in all that resentment and rancor. There are a lot of public singers that are people that talk and complain with other ones about their misfortunes, their problems, their disgraces, and they want to be comforted by their friends. They want to look at someone else to self-consider them, to feel pity about them, to comfort their own sadness and tell them they are good, that they haven't been appreciated, that they are really the best persons that there can be, and that injustice is made with them. But what happens when the friendship is no longer the excuse to achieve that emotional comfort? When our friend tells us, hey, you gotta stop complaining about that. I'm not going to hear your whining, your complaints anymore. Well, the person goes and searches for another friend that can pity them, that can self-consider them, and the friendship is going to end. So there are also secret singers that are people that in their own darkness, alone in their room, start being in company of their own psychological flaws. It's not only that you're in good company when you're alone. You can be in the worst company, that is the company of your psychological flaws. You're going to accumulate a lot of resentment and feel that your life has been a psychological song in which you have been a good person and people have mistreated you, that you have been the best couple and you haven't been able to find someone that respects you, and you start to suffer a lot in your own darkness. So it's really important to stop being a secret singer, because it's really dangerous. It's really dangerous to be in company of your egos, of suffering, of depression, of anxiety, and of drowning in your own inner darkness. So how are you going to sacrifice your own inner sufferings? Well, you gotta achieve something that is the force of your being, that is your conscious will, and establishing order within our psyche with the practice of the psychological death. You gotta get your virtues, faculties, and forces to grow within yourself, contact with your own conscience, that is the 3% of justice, wisdom, and love, and eliminating that anxiety, that inner suffering, that rancor, that hate that is inside of you, turn it into light, and achieving the awakening of your conscience. That is the only way that you're not going to drown in your weakness, but you are going to become strong and you're going to shine with the light of your wisdom of evil, with the wisdom of your being. Well, this was the conference. I hope that you enjoyed and that is profitable for your inner work. Thank you. Bye.